Okay. It's not building or anything. Or I don't see anyone. Hello, boys and girls. Here we go. It's Taco Tuesday. I'm thinking this is number 7. So we're calling this 2718 number 7 Taco Tuesday with the Epic Beer. So, and as you can see, the devastation and wreckage has mostly been cleared. 2 chicken and 1 carnitas taco. I wasn't prepared for it, and I probably could have done it Saturday or Sunday, but I didn't have the fixings for turkey tacos after Thanksgiving, which, are we not grateful for being out of Thanksgiving? I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did. I had my son has usually spent that day with his mother, but she decided to work that day or had to work that day and chose, I don't know. But she, I don't know, I think she wanted a 3-day weekend. So she, so he came over, and my brothers and I and Sean sat and feasted on turkey and everything else that I prepared. The taters, the Waldorf salad. I think he did the crescent rolls because I almost spaced it last minute. I did space opening the can of cranberry jelly or paste or whatever it is, and the ocean spray, and putting it on a little plate and serving it up with dinner. I don't do sweet potatoes because I don't know how to cook them. Never have. Of course, this is only my 3rd turkey. I must say it came out very well. It came out really, really well. I did my normal rub where I mixed it with butter, unsalted butter. And I mixed, I added rosemary and cumin and thyme and sage with some pepper and a bunch of salt. I put a bunch of salt in it this time, and a little red chili powder, very little, just a splash. I could probably add paprika as well, and then you take it and you get in under the skin and you rub the bird real well with that, and then you coat the entire outside, the skin and everything, with the concoction or the rub or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a wet rub. I could do it. I'm going to try a dry rub, I guess, one of these times. And but I didn't brine the turkey, so I got the. I read that you could do a dry brine, and so I decided to do that, but in the form of using my little recipe for a rub or whatever, for a wet rub for the turkey itself. It came out excellent. It was very, very moist. You couldn't ask for more. I didn't carve it this time. I was going to have Sean do it, but he wormed out of it, so I had my brother do it. I carved the last 2. We're getting better. I mean, the first one, I just pulled it out of the oven and carved it up, and it was way hot. It was juicy. And then the second one, I put it out and I set it on the oven, and I baked a pie. And the oven, it was sitting on top of the oven, so the heat's rising up, so it dried it out a little bit. And I think I let it rest too long. And then this time, it was about 30 minutes or so, or maybe more. And I had set it, I had moved a cravat or whatever they're called over to the side, and I put the turkey on it. It was away from the oven. And I wasn't going to bake a pie, but I did bake some dressing in there. And the biscuits came out okay. Everything came out okay. I'm not complaining. Everybody finished off the dressing a couple days ago. The dressing and the stuffing, I do both. And because I make the whole box and then I stuff the bird, and what's left over, I add a couple other ingredients that the box recommends for the oven dressing. And then like a half hour or so before I pull in the turkey, I stick it in a dish and an aluminum foil cover on it, and let it cook. That's about it, you know. Just very happy with it. Since it's been a long time, because it's been like since my dad passed away, I guess. And we did it a couple of times, but they weren't as big, and the family had, a lot of the family had spread out a lot more than they were back when we were little kids. And but I miss the old family Thanksgivings and Christmases and whatever. My dad was big on that. My mom and dad and their families were big on family, and my dad was I guess a major driver in having everybody come to our house. And but then as nieces and nephews married, one of my uncles and his wife, or their second wife, would go to other dinners and maybe drop by. It's just kind of something you miss, you know. You got into and you got used to, and you kind of miss a little bit. Oh, hello, who is this up here? Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something. Say hello. I want to know who you are. And I want to say hello to you. Welcome. And I hope you had a very happy Thanksgiving. It's always great to see some family and whatever on Thanksgiving. So, I don't know. By the way, the little circle with the person in it, which, because it's on the phone, I can't tell who it is. It's too small to see. And so, anyways, it's a kind of I love it, you know, kind of thing. And a couple years ago, it just got to me, and I'd been thinking about it for a few years. And so about 3 years ago, what was the third year? So yeah, 3 years ago, I decided to cook my first turkey. And then I've been kind of doing it ever since. It's kind of fun, kind of a pain. But I started to try different things. I think I should cook another one sometime else in the year or something like that, so I get a little bit better at it. I get a little more muscle memory and my recipes down, and or my style, you know, because I'm using a cookbook, and I'm using basically what they say to what I want to do, what I thought about doing. Because like my stuffing, I add dried cranberries and some walnuts. You know, it's funny, here at the Mexican restaurant, the owner and I were talking, and he was saying something about like he'd like to do a more Mexican kind of turkey. And one of the things that he said was, you know, putting chorizo in with the dressing. Well, to be honest with you, that would work great. I mean, I know of a few families or a few people, and I've read of recipes where they put sausage or whatever in the dressing or in the stuffing to help cook in. Maybe next year I'll add some bacon. You know, but yeah, you know, it's worth the time and the pain, I think. You know, say what you want. But anyways, here we are. It's Taco Tuesday. We had us a couple of chicken and a carnitas taco in our salad, and it was good. It was a break from turkey. I've been eating turkey sandwiches for the last few days. I still got a little left. I think maybe I, get rid of what's in the refrigerator. Go get something, make something else for dinner or something like that. It's all what's there. But hey, that's what we're all about. Other than that, just following the news and trying to live large and trying to live happy and get things done around the house and in the garage and putter about. Keep yourself busy. Keep your feet moving. Keep moving forward. Was always what I was told. Just keep your feet moving. Sit down and rest too much, you die. So, and no hat today, hey? We got the crystal mop. But yeah. The news. The caravans here. It's interesting. I'm seeing videos on Facebook and I'm reading some stories in my news feed as well as on Facebook of many Mexican people are quite upset. Oh, who do we have? Is this Ann? And Anna Brady, I think it is. Like, say hello. Say hello. Always say hello. Comment if you can. But yeah, there's these people. I think it's neat that this time that there's a kind of reaction. They are calling these Nicaraguans invaders, and they want them out of their country. And I think I even heard a few say, they shouldn't be allowed to cross into America. They should just be sent back.
It's Mexican food. I don't see the building that you're talking about.
But it's crazy ass. It'd be crazy ass. I mean, when you have Mexican people dressed up a little bit like Antifa, having an interview and spouting off. It's funny. I mean, I think there's something universal going on in the world. I really, really do. I don't know. The immigration problem is complicated. Like 20 or 30% of those that are illegal in this country flew in from Europe or Asia or the Middle East and overstayed their welcomes. And definitely I should get on that and round these guys up and say, hey, sorry, I hope you enjoyed your stay, but get the hell out. Time for you to go home. And deport the hell out of them. And then we can start on the southern border violators. One thing I think Trump missed an opportunity here. And he could have said, okay, I'll tell you what. If you but they have to come in through the ports, the normal ports of entry, and have buses waiting, food, hot sack lunch or whatever, and water and all that, and load them up on buses, or take them to military airports and put them in cargo aircraft and fly them to the northern border and load them on buses, and drive them up to Canada. Because Trudeau offered a lot of an open border policy to a lot of South Americans and Mexicans and whatnot into Canada. he set a number and it was exceeded in a few weeks, and they kept coming in. And I think that's what they should do. They should just say, hey, America doesn't mind flying you or driving you across their country to go to Canada, but you're not coming here, you're not getting this asylum here, you're not getting anything here. Asylum's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, if people are really, really being hurt and prosecuted, we're good people. We are generous and kind people. And it is somewhat of our history to do this. But, how many of them are taking advantage of this? How many are willing to do what it takes to become an American, to stay here? And we can't give asylum or whatever with American children and American vets sleeping on the streets. Okay, we can't do that. If they want to come in and they want to work and they want to pay taxes and they want to eventually become an American citizen, hey, fine. If you have a valid amnesty case, but how many of them are faking it? I mean, most of this group, this caravan group, appear to be, and from what reports I've seen and read in news feeds and whatnot, are mostly military-age men. There's very, very few women and children. And then, of course, the whole tear gas thing. I mean, I didn't realize. I mean, they must have kept this one down. That the Obama administration was doing this almost monthly. Having to use crowd control methods to repel invaders across the border. And but it's Trump, so it's a bad thing. It's funny. I remember reading in the paper Obama decided to put his foot down or show how strong he was, and he was going to. When they capture or catch people sneaking into the country, they usually just turn them around, or they take them by bus or whatever to the nearest portal, and they escort them back across the border, and they turn them over to Mexicans, and the Mexicans do whatever they need to, and that usually goes. It's counted and reported. It's counted and documented, but it's generally not covered in any kind of announcement or statement about what the government or what the White House is doing about illegal immigration. And Obama decided to include those numbers in it to boost his numbers and to look and say, look, he's like the deporter in chief, and he's done all of this. And it turns around and says,
we didn't get that Chinese food the other day, huh?
They turn around and it blew up on him. Hey, what's up, gang?
All right.
And it blew up in his face.
Yesterday, Taco Tuesday, that's right.
Taco Tuesday. And they came down on him, and it cost him votes, and it cost him some popularity and whatnot, and he got criticized for it. So they started shoveling it back under the door, under the mat, because Bush had done it. Bush had done as many, if not more, or almost more than Obama. Let's not bicker over numbers. He had done it, but he didn't report it. So his actual deportation numbers were a lot lower than Obama's. But he had done the same thing that Obama was doing, or what the policy was. He just didn't include that in the deportation figures or whatever, because nobody ever did, his dad didn't do it, Clinton didn't do it, Nixon, Carter, Reagan, they just didn't cover it because it was just all held by immigration, so Department of Immigration, and they're just doing their job, So I guess it's having an encounter with the police, and they document it, they write it up, and and file it, but it doesn't go into, confrontation statistics or arrests. There's no arrests to be made. It's like, just go home. And but they do write up that, yeah, we did this and we just told them to go home. And you might see a lot more of what police do, I don't know if I'm going anywhere with this, but immigration has always been like that. Border Patrol has always done this. And then Obama decided to take those like numbers sitting over here that say, and these are the ones we caught Tuesday and returned to their country Tuesday. They didn't go to trial. They didn't do anything else. We didn't charge them with anything. We just drove them to the port and walked them back across. So who knows? God, who knows? Immigration was an issue when I was in high school. It was an issue when I was in elementary school, I believe. Probably was. Has been for a long, long time. Immigration is something that rears its ugly head now and again. Well, not now and again. It just, there's always been chatter about it, and both sides want to reform immigration, but they don't do anything. And then they don't. To do that, the other side, to do that, you have to have tougher laws and this and that, and nothing's done. Nothing's ever done. I think the problem can be cured. I think there is a proper way to come into the country, even for those that are asking for asylum. They don't have to just run up here and try to sneak in. I think the big thing is to stop the coyotes from bringing groups of people in. I was talking to the owner here, and he mentioned it, and I had just read about this and was just discussing it with somebody else. But apparently this caravan, as they were marching up through Mexico, they were getting a lot of help from a lot of support and a lot of help from Mexican people. They were out of the kindness of their heart. This wasn't something that I don't think was planned. I think these were just good people, helping out with food and water and shoes and some sort of diapers and some things like that, some supplies. And it turns out that these people they're taking some of this stuff and then they're just leaving a mess. Wherever they stop or wherever, they just leave a massive mess. Kind of like the pipeline protesters, the environmentalists destroy the environment around where they were protesting by just being there, insane. And by law, the underground company or the company installing the pipelines, whether above or below ground, have to return the area as close as they can to its more native state and clean. And so where sometimes you'll see there's been photos, there's got this line and it's grassed and it's really nice and it's green and it's clean and it's pure looking, and that is the construction company and the pipeline company after they've been there, and then they show the pipeline protester and it's a landfill. It's really just a landfill. And I feel sorry for the natives who are getting the support of these protesters to have that happen on their land. That's what's wrong. And I don't think they appreciate it either. I was a Boy Scout and we backpacked, and we were always told you carry out what you carry in. You leave the area as you found it. Now you might have a fire pit, which you'll kind of dig up and line with rocks or circle with rocks, but when you go to leave, you make sure the fire is completely out and dead. You remove the rocks and scatter them back around, and you fill the hole in or whatever, and sort of erase your footprint. Or try to as much as you can. Nature will reclaim it very quickly. You'll be surprised. But yeah, you do that. If you burn some of your trash, it's all just paper stuff or wood stuff or something like that that can burn in your campfire safely. I remember sometimes we would take a can and put it in there and to cook out what was inside of it, and then at some point they would fish it out and let it cool off, and then when we went to leave the next day or a day or two later, we'd pick it up and put it in a bag and and pack it out. We didn't leave our cans, we didn't leave our plastic. We left ash and some chunks of burnt wood, and minimize the scar on the earth. And we left. And we whatever, if we forgot something, well, there's not much you can do. You know how it is. But we tried to clean up and police our. I remember at times we even policed the whole campground up in the Sierras or up in the local mountains, and everyone moved around, or we moved the line through back and forth and across, and made sure that we picked up some of the parents' cigarette butts that they didn't dispose of properly, or and any other little dumb things that we found that shouldn't be left. And again, it's to reduce. Today we would say it is to reduce our carbon footprint. So yeah, that's what it's about. Anyways, I think I'm going to finish my iced tea. I'm going to get up. I'm going to mosey on out. It's a lovely day. It's been a lovely day. It was cool and nice. The evening seems nice. I'm glad and happy for anybody and everyone who had a nice Thanksgiving. Spent some time with family or whatnot, whether their mothers or fathers or brothers and sisters, grandparents, aunts and uncles, friends. So, yeah, it's the way it should be. It should be. That's what this time was for, and that's what we're thankful for, is our friends, our family, our existence. I'm also grateful to live in this country. This is the greatest country on the earth. I think so. If you don't like capitalism, that's fine. If you want socialism, that's not fine. But quite frankly, I mean, the beauty about America, and I remember when I was younger, people used to say love it or leave it, and then you'd get upset, well, you're telling people to get the hell out. Well, I'm older and I look at it differently. I mean, if you're really that unhappy here, if we're really as bad as you say or you've been taught, what's wrong with taking the suggestion to relocate? We're not holding you here. You're not on the eastern side of the Berlin Wall. You're not in communist East Europe or the Soviet Union. You can get up and leave. I guess at some point for me, if it gets bad enough and there's like absolutely no chance of a change, I can leave California. I don't want to take California views and attitudes to any other state. I want to take my own. But I don't want to carry that kind of crap anywhere else. So, anyways, I'm going to grab the phone. I'm gonna say goodnight. I love you all. Bye.
He grew a Jew?
Finish.
He's gonna do it.
Finish. Finish.